Marcus Chen stood in line at Sweet Dreams Bakery, not because he wanted anything, but because he had nowhere else to be. It was his 42nd birthday, and like every birthday for the past decade, he was spending it alone. His executive assistant had sent the obligatory happy birthday, Mr. Chen email. His mother had called from Taiwan, their conversation stilted and brief as always. Otherwise, the day was indistinguishable from any other. Meetings, decisions, the relentless machinery of running a Fortune 500 company. He'd walked into the bakery on impulse, drawn by the warm light and the smell of fresh bread, seeking some small comfort in sugar and butter since he had no one to celebrate with. That's when he noticed her. A little girl, maybe 6 years old, with auburn curls and a pink dress that had been washed so many times it was nearly white. She stood at the counter, counting coins with intense concentration, her small face scrunched up in worry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She counted carefully, then looked up at the baker with desperate hope. I have $5. Can I buy a birthday cake for my mama? The baker, a heavy-set woman with kind eyes, looked pained. Sweetheart, our cakes start at $25. $5 won't be enough, but it's Mama's birthday. She works so hard, and she's been sad since Daddy died, and I saved all my allowance for 2 months, and I have $5 whole. The little girl's voice cracked. Please, can you make a small cake? Just big enough for Mama and me. Honey, I can't. The ingredients alone cost more than $5. I'm sorry. Marcus watched as the little girl's face crumpled. She didn't cry. Not yet. But her lip trembled and her hands clutched the $5 like they were the most precious thing in the world. What about cupcakes? The girl asked desperately. Can I buy cupcakes for $5? Our cupcakes are $4 each. You could buy one cupcake. Just one. But Mama likes chocolate, and I like vanilla. Could we maybe share one cupcake? The baker looked like her heart was breaking. Sweetheart, where is your mother? She's at work. She works at the hospital. She's a nurse. She won't be home until late. I wanted to surprise her with a birthday cake when she gets home. She always makes me birthday cakes, even when we don't have much money. She makes them special. I wanted to do the same for her. Marcus found himself stepping forward before he'd consciously decided to intervene. Excuse me, he said to the baker. I'd like to buy a cake. Your largest chocolate cake with happy birthday written on it. And I'd like this young lady to pick it out and take it home as if she bought it herself with her $5. The little girl turned to look at Marcus, her eyes wide. Mister, you don't have to. I want to, Marcus said, kneeling down to her level. What's your name? Lucy. Lucy Martinez. Lucy, it's my birthday today too. And I'm spending it alone because I don't have anyone to celebrate with. So I'd like to do something that makes me feel less lonely. Buying your mother a birthday cake would make me feel better. Would that be okay? Lucy studied him with the serious expression children get when they're trying to determine if an adult is trustworthy. It's really your birthday. It really is. I'm 42 today. That's old, Lucy said with the blunt honesty of childhood, then reconsidering. But Mama says being old means you have lots of stories. Do you have stories? Some, Marcus admitted. Most of them involve boardrooms and business deals. Not very exciting. Mama says all stories are exciting if you tell them right. She tells me stories every night about when she was little in Mexico. Even the boring stories about doing chores are fun when Mama tells them. Marcus felt something twist in his chest. This child, who clearly had very little, spoke with such love and warmth about her mother. Meanwhile, Marcus had everything money could buy and hadn't had a meaningful conversation with another human in weeks. Your mama sounds wonderful. She is. She works really hard. She's tired all the time, but she still plays with me and helps with my homework and makes me laugh. She deserves a really good birthday. Then, let's make sure she gets one. Pick out the best cake in the shop. Lucy's face lit up with joy so pure it was almost painful to witness. She spent 10 minutes examining every cake in the display case before settling on a large chocolate cake with buttercream frosting and fresh strawberries. This one, Lucy declared. Mama loves strawberries. They were Daddy's favorite too before he died. Mama says strawberries remind her of happy times. The baker carefully boxed the cake while Marcus paid $65 for the cake, plus a generous tip. Lucy watched the transaction with awe, clutching her $5. Mister, Lucy said as the baker handed over the cake box. I still have my $5. What should I do with it? That's your money, Lucy. You saved it. You should keep it. But you bought the cake. I wanted to buy Mama's cake with my own money. Marcus knelt down again, looking at Lucy's earnest little face. You did buy it. You saved for 2 months. You came to the bakery. You chose the perfect cake. The money isn't what matters. What matters is that you love your mama enough to save every penny you had to make her birthday special. That's what she'll care about. That's what makes the cake meaningful. You really think so? I know. So Lucy considered this, then carefully folded her $5 and put them in her pocket. Thank you, mister. You're nice. I hope your birthday gets less lonely. It already has. Meeting you made it better. Marcus helped Lucy carry the cake box to the door where Lucy explained she only lived 2 blocks away and could walk home safely. She did it every day after school while her mama was at work. Will you be okay carrying that box? Marcus asked, concerned. I'm strong, Lucy assured him, taking the box carefully. Mama says I'm her brave girl. Marcus watched Lucy walk down the street. The large bakery box held carefully in her small arms and felt something he hadn't experienced in years. A sense that he'd done something that actually mattered. Not a business deal, or an acquisition, or a strategic partnership. Something real. He should have gone back to his office. Should have returned to the endless work that filled his empty life. Instead, he found himself following Lucy at a distance, making sure she made it home safely with the cake. Lucy turned into a modest apartment building in a neighborhood Marcus had never had reason to visit. Not poor exactly, but working class. The kind of place where people struggled to make rent and neighbors knew each other's names. Marcus was about to leave when he heard shouting from inside the building. Then he saw Lucy running back out, tears streaming down her face, the cake box fallen on the sidewalk, the cake presumably ruined inside. Lucy, Marcus called, hurrying toward her. What happened? The landlord, Lucy sobbed. He's in our apartment. He says we have to leave because Mama didn't pay rent. He says we have until tomorrow to get out. He was yelling, and I got scared and I dropped the cake, and now everything's ruined. Marcus felt anger rising. Not the cold, calculated anger of boardrooms, but genuine fury at a landlord terrorizing a child. Where's your mother? Still at work. She doesn't know. I tried to call, but she can't answer her phone during her shift. Show me your apartment. Lucy led Marcus inside and up 2 flights of stairs to a small apartment where a heavy-set man was standing in the living room packing belongings roughly into boxes. Excuse me, Marcus said, his voice carrying the authority of someone used to being obeyed. What exactly are you doing? The landlord turned, looking Marcus up and down, taking in the expensive suit, the obvious wealth. His aggressive posture shifted slightly. Who are you? Someone who's interested in why you're terrorizing a 6-year-old child. What's the situation with the rent? Martinez is 3 months behind. I've been patient, but I'm not running a charity. She needs to pay or get out. How much does she owe? $3,600, plus late fees? $3,800 total. Marcus pulled out his checkbook, an anachronism he carried because some business situations still required physical checks, and wrote out $3,800. This covers the back rent and fees. Consider the account current, and I'm adding 3 months prepaid rent. That's another $3,600. He wrote a second check. That's $7,400 total. You're paid through the next 6 months. This child and her mother are not to be harassed about rent during that time. Are we clear? The landlord stared at the checks. Who are you? Someone who has money to spare and a strong dislike for people who terrorize children. Are we clear? Yeah, we're clear. After the landlord left, Lucy looked up at Marcus with awe and confusion. Mister, why did you pay our rent? That's so much money. Because you tried to buy your mama a birthday cake with $5. All the money you had in the world. Because you love your mother and she's working herself exhausted to take care of you. Because I'm 42 years old and wealthy and lonely, and helping you is the first thing that's made me feel human in years. Are you like a fairy godmother? But a man. Marcus laughed. Actually laughed. Something he rarely did. I suppose I am. Lucy, I need to go now, but I'll leave you my business card. If you or your mama ever need anything at all, you call this number. Okay. But mister, the cake got ruined when I dropped it. Mama won't have a birthday cake after all. Marcus checked his watch. The bakery doesn't close for 2 more hours. I'll buy another cake and bring it back. What's your apartment number? 2B. But you already did so much. Lucy, today is my birthday, and I have no one to celebrate with. Let me celebrate by making sure your mama has the birthday she deserves. Please. Okay, thank you, fairy godfather. Marcus returned an hour later with not just a cake, but also groceries, staples like rice, beans, pasta, canned goods, things he assumed a struggling single mother could use. Lucy answered the door and gasped at the bags. Fairy godfather, you brought food. I thought your mama might need some things. Can I put these in your kitchen? As Marcus put away groceries in the small, meticulously clean kitchen, he noticed the apartment. It was tiny, just 2 bedrooms, a living room, a small kitchen, but it was spotless and filled with love. Children's drawings covered the refrigerator. Photos of Lucy and a woman who must be her mother and a man who must be the deceased father were carefully arranged on every surface. The furniture was old but well maintained. This was a home, not just an apartment. Mama will be home soon, Lucy said. She works until 6 o'clock. Do you want to stay and meet her? I could tell her you're my fairy godfather. Marcus should have said no. Should have left his good deed done and returned to his empty penthouse. But Lucy was looking at him with such hope. And the apartment was so warm compared to his sterile home, and he hadn't had anyone genuinely want his company in so long. I'll stay, Marcus heard himself say. Lucy beamed and immediately began telling him about her day, her school, her friends, her mama. She showed him her drawings, fantastical creatures, and princess stories. She made him sit on the worn couch and watch her demonstrate her cartwheel, which was more sideways than circular, but executed with tremendous pride. Mama taught me, Lucy explained. She says I'm getting better. At 6:15, the door opened and a woman walked in. Late 20s, dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail, wearing scrubs, exhaustion evident in every line of her body. She froze when she saw Marcus. Lucy, who is this man? Mama, he's my fairy godfather. He helped me buy your birthday cake, and he paid our rent, and he brought groceries, and it's his birthday too. And he was lonely, so I invited him to stay and meet you. The woman, Maria Martinez, as Marcus soon learned, looked between her daughter and the strange wealthy man in her living room with understandable alarm. Marcus stood quickly. Ms. Martinez, I apologize for the intrusion. I'm Marcus Chen. I was at the bakery when Lucy came in trying to buy you a birthday cake with $5. I helped her purchase one. Then I saw her upset because your landlord was here demanding rent. So I covered what you owed and prepaid 6 months. Lucy invited me to stay to meet you. I should have declined. I'm sorry for overstepping. Maria stared at him. You paid my rent? You paid 6 months of rent? You're a stranger. Why would you do that? Because today is my birthday and I'm spending it alone. Because I've built a successful career but failed to build a life. Because your daughter tried to spend every penny she had to make you happy. Because I have money I'll never spend and you have love that money can't buy. Because helping Lucy made me feel less alone. I'm sorry if I overstepped. I'll leave. Wait, Maria said, her voice soft. You said it's your birthday. Yes, I'm 42 today. And you're spending it with strangers because you're lonely. I'm spending it with kind people who reminded me that there's more to life than work and wealth. Your daughter is extraordinary, Ms. Martinez. She's loving and brave and wise beyond her years. You've raised someone remarkable despite circumstances that would break most people. That's worth more than anything I've achieved. Maria's eyes filled with tears. Lucy told you about her father? She mentioned he passed away. She said strawberries remind you of happy times with him. He died 2 years ago. Accident at his construction job. We've been struggling since. I work double shifts, but nursing doesn't pay enough to cover everything. We've been falling behind. I thought we'd be evicted. And you, a stranger, just paid our rent for 6 months. I did. And I don't want anything in return. I'm not expecting gratitude or repayment. I just wanted to help. Why? Because I'm a 42-year-old CEO who has everything money can buy and nothing that actually matters. I live in a penthouse alone. I eat meals alone. I spend birthdays alone. I've achieved every measure of success society defines. And I'm profoundly miserable. Your 6-year-old daughter showed more kindness and wisdom in 5 minutes than I've encountered in corporate boardrooms in years. Helping her helped me. That's the honest truth. Maria wiped her eyes. It's your birthday, and you're alone. We have a birthday cake. A beautiful cake that you bought for me. But that was Lucy's idea. We should share it. Please. It seems wrong for you to be alone on your birthday when you've been so generous to us. I couldn't impose. You're not imposing. Lucy set 3 plates. We're having birthday cake. They sat at the small kitchen table. Marcus in his expensive suit. Maria in her scrubs, Lucy between them with icing on her face. They sang happy birthday twice. Once for Maria, once for Marcus. The cake was delicious. The company was better. What do you do? Maria asked. Lucy said, You're a fairy godfather, but I assume you have a more official title. I'm the CEO of Chen Technologies. We develop software solutions for healthcare systems. Maria laughed. So, you developed the software that makes my job harder by adding 17 steps to every medication order? Probably. I apologize for that. I'm teasing mostly. Marcus, can I ask you something? Why are you really alone? A successful, kind man who buys birthday cakes for 6-year-olds? Why isn't there someone in your life? Because I prioritized work over relationships for 20 years. Every romantic relationship failed because I was always at the office. Every friendship faded because I never made time for people. I told myself success was what mattered. Now I have success and no one to share it with. I eat birthday cake alone in my office every year. This is the first time in a decade I've shared my birthday with anyone. That's incredibly sad. It is. But today was different. Today I met your daughter and helped her with her $5. And that made me feel more fulfilled than closing a $50 million deal. That's when I realized I've been measuring success by the wrong metrics. Over the next month, Marcus found himself returning to the Martinez apartment regularly. He'd tell himself he was just checking in, making sure they didn't need anything. But the truth was, he was lonely and they were kind, and their small apartment felt more like home than his penthouse ever had. He helped Lucy with her math homework. He listened to Maria's stories about difficult shifts at the hospital. He ate dinner with them. Simple meals like rice and beans and tortillas. Food that tasted better than anything his private chef prepared because it was shared with people who actually wanted his company. You know, we're getting attached to you, Maria said one evening after Lucy had gone to bed. Lucy talks about you constantly. Her fairy godfather who helped her with Mama's birthday cake. You need to understand if you're going to be in our lives, you need to stay. I can't let my daughter get attached to someone who's going to disappear. I'm not going to disappear. Why? We're not your family. We're a charity project. What happens when you get bored of playing fairy godfather? Maria, I'm 42 years old. I've been lonely for 2 decades. I finally found people who make me feel less alone. I'm not going anywhere unless you want me to leave. I don't want you to leave. Lucy doesn't want you to leave. But I need to know this is real. That you're not going to wake up one day and remember you're a billionaire CEO who has better things to do than eat rice and beans with a nurse and her 6-year-old daughter. I've had gourmet meals alone in my penthouse. They're not better. They're empty. Maria, what you and Lucy have. Love, connection, joy in simple things. That's what I've been missing. That's what money can't buy. I'm not doing you a favor by being here. You're doing me one by letting me in. Maria was quiet for a long moment. Lucy's father died 2 years ago. I've been alone since then, focused entirely on survival. I forgot what it's like to have another adult to talk to share meals with, to build something with. You're reminding me of that, but I'm scared. What if this doesn't work? What if you decide you want your old life back? Then I'd be an idiot. Maria, I've had the old life. It nearly destroyed me. This sitting in your kitchen eating simple food and listening to Lucy's stories. This is the only time I've felt alive in years. They dated carefully for a year with Lucy's well-being as the first priority. Marcus reduced his work hours, hired a COO to handle day-to-day operations, and invested time in building a life outside the office. He taught Lucy to ride a bike. He attended Maria's nursing school graduation when she finished her BSN. He became part of their family, not through grand gestures, but through consistent presence, showing up for dinner, for school events, for the ordinary moments that build a life. 2 years after meeting Lucy in a bakery, Marcus proposed to Maria at the same Sweet Dreams bakery where it all began. Lucy was there clutching $5 that Marcus had given her for the occasion. Your daughter changed my life with $5, Marcus said to Maria, kneeling in the bakery. She tried to buy you a birthday cake with all the money she had. That moment of pure love and sacrifice reminded me what actually matters. It's not wealth or success. It's love. It's family. It's the willingness to give everything you have for the people who matter. Maria, you and Lucy gave me a family when I had nothing but money. Will you marry me? Will you let me be Lucy's father and your husband and part of this extraordinary family you've built? Yes, Maria said through tears. Yes to all of it. Lucy cheered and handed her $5 to the baker. "Can I buy a celebration cupcake with this?" "You can buy whatever you want, sweetheart," the baker said, who remembered the little girl and her $5. At their wedding, Lucy, now 8 years old, gave a toast that made everyone cry. "3 years ago, I had $5, Lucy began. "I saved it for 2 months to buy Mama a birthday cake. But cakes cost more than $5. I was sad because I couldn't give Mama the birthday she deserved." Then Marcus came into the bakery. He was lonely, and it was his birthday too. He bought Mama's cake and helped with our rent and became my friend. Then he became part of our family. Marcus says, "I changed his life with $5. But really, he changed ours. He showed us that there are people who help just because they can, not because they want something back. He became my dad not because he had to, but because he wanted to. That's what family is, choosing to be there. Marcus chose us. We chose him. Now we're a real family." Marcus' toast was emotional. "3 years ago, I was a lonely billionaire spending my birthday alone. I walked into a bakery and met a 6-year-old girl trying to buy her mother a birthday cake with $5. All the money she had. Lucy's willingness to give everything she had for someone she loved reminded me what I'd lost in my pursuit of success. I'd forgotten how to connect, how to love, how to be present for anything except work. Lucy and Maria taught me all of that again. They let me into their family when I had nothing to offer but money. They showed me that love is measured in presence, not presents. Lucy came to a bakery with $5. I came with millions, but no purpose. She had far more to give than I did. Helping her birthday cake helped me find my way back to being human. Maria's toast tied everything together. 3 years ago, my daughter and I were struggling. We had love, but not much else. We were about to be evicted. Lucy had saved $5 to buy me a birthday cake, a gift she could barely afford, but gave anyway because she loved me. Marcus helped her buy that cake. Then he paid our rent. Then he kept showing up for dinners, for homework help, for all the ordinary moments that build a family. He didn't save us with his money. He saved us by showing up, by being present, by choosing us. Marcus came into our lives because Lucy had $5 and a lot of love. He stayed because he realized love matters more than money. We built a family not on wealth, but on choosing each other every day. Years later, when Lucy was older, she'd tell the story of the $5 to her own children. "I had $5, Lucy would begin. "I wanted to buy Grandma Maria a birthday cake. But cakes cost more than $5. I was sad. Then Grandpa Marcus, he wasn't my grandpa yet, just a lonely man, bought Grandma's cake and paid our rent and became part of our family. All because of $5 in love. And she'd teach her children that sometimes the smallest gestures, a child's $5, a stranger's kindness, the willingness to see someone else's need, create the biggest changes. That loneliness can be healed through connection. That wealth means nothing without people to share it with. And that families are built not through biology or obligation, but through the choice to show up, to stay, to love, to be present for each other through all the ordinary moments that make a life meaningful. Thank you for listening to this story. If it touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment about a time when a small gesture changed your life, or when someone's kindness reminded you what actually matters. Your stories remind us that little girls with $5 can change lives, that lonely CEOs need families more than fortunes, that generosity creates connection, and that sometimes the person you help in a bakery becomes the family you've been missing all along.